Welcome in. It's your commission, your co-commish, coming to you live from ESPN HQ. It's SSTV Week 10, Episode 8. We got a special guest today with us. It's MezcalPapi.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Potentially,
Damn! Put that away.
Damn! Put it away. All right. So we're starting this up. We're gonna go with a shout out, as we always do. Its highest score was, I think, Mescat. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Tex Mex Anna for the third time this season. Yeah. Only needs two more payouts.
Y'all gotta send the IRS to her, man. I don't know what to tell you.
There's
some shady shit going on.
You said Anna's taking us all out to dinner? What?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Some photo chat. Oh yeah.
Well, some photo.
All right, so next segment, we're just gonna go with a pretender contender. We'll have our special guest Mescal give his, I guess, pretender and contender. I'll start with mine. I'm doing the pretender today, and my pretender is Cool Kid. Like me, myself, and I. Like,
hey, 3 times in a row,
dude, bro, back to back contender somehow manages to ease out a win by the fucking skin of my fucking teeth. I don't know. I mean, if it's working, I'm on a 4-win streak. Whatever, like whatever's going on, like whatever, I'm gonna continue putting myself in the pretender until it comes alive, or I actually become a contender. And then, so who's your pretender, Mezcal? You got anyone on the radar?
My pretender, I think right now, I'm gonna have to go with the stats and the numbers and the daft PP. Because the daft PP don't lie, bro. And you know what? I've seen this firsthand with the Papi, and it's been confirmed with the PP. That Lil Chubb is on a downward trend. And I think if he doesn't get a win, man, he's probably gonna be like in a tough spot at the end of the season. So that's my pretender.
Heard it here first.
He's got the defending high scorer. He's got Anna, so
yeah, that'll be interesting.
Week.
All right, who we got for a contender, Tony?
Man, it's hard because I already said this, I don't know, a week 2 ago already, where I thought the playoff picture was pretty crystallized. I felt like I knew what the teams were going to be. So trying to come up with somebody who has an outside chance of getting in's tough. Honorable mention to H-Rods, because I think the talent's there. I hate his schedule. And I don't know that the wins are going to fall his way. Someone who schedule-wise I could see getting some wins, Culero. He's got the reigning champ on a big bye week, and he's got Dav on a big bye week. He's got, I mean, if I look at week 12, I wonder, let's see.
Stars are aligning is what we're talking about right here.
He's got a couple of weeks where the stars are aligning. The lineup's fine. It's dangerous when fully healthy, but I don't know that it's ever going to be healthy. So it's all about, for him, it's all going to be about mix and matching in those fill-in spots whenever he's missing Keenan, whenever he's missing Taylor, and figuring out the right streams those weeks. So between that, the stars are aligning. If he can just make some good managerial decisions, he should end up with more wins than what is projected for him. And maybe that's enough to get him into that 6th seed.
Yeah, should be interested to see who you got as your contender, Mescal. Is it any different from Tony?
So I'm gonna just give a shout out to the holy trifecta, Tony, Tex Mexana, and yourself, and yours truly. But I think that I have to side with Tony in this one. I feel like I've been saying it since like week 1. I never stopped believing in Culero. I was his biggest fan, biggest supporter. Oh wait, did I say I was? No, Tony was. But in the last 2 weeks, he hasn't even been making moves, man. I think he's just been like getting some good breaks, because I think he was like performing in the beginning of the season, and he got like just demolished by really bad matchups for him. So I think now he's like, his schedule is a little easier, and he's getting more of those wins in, and he's scoring more of those Papi points. As you know, it's very important in the season to get Papi points. So Yeah, it's cool arrow.
Shit, I mean, that's a little tough for me to see, but I mean, y'all are seeing something that I'm not. I mean, you might be right with those bye weeks. So we'll have to see if Calero actually ends up being in. And I mean, I do think he has an actual chance. He's like been projected to have like a good average of like 110. So it will be interesting to see if he does actually make it, which he does have a chance. Especially with that who he's got. He's got Tyreek Hill, and maybe JT comes back. Amari Cooper's been going off, so should be an interesting team to watch. All right, and then this is a nice little recap segment of last week. So a couple little highlights of last week that I want to point out. Just Mezcal is continuing to roll. He even rolled on that fucking Bill stack that Esteban has. Like,
That's a crazy stack to beat.
who's fucking stopping him? It'll be interesting. And then, as we pointed out in the last, is that a trophy? I never seen one of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say. How did you know what that was?
What's it called? And then I keep riding on fucking someone's back every week. If it's not D-Hop, it's not Jalen, it's Mixon. Somehow pulled out that fucking win. A Rojas just needed Fields in a fucking defense to pull one out on fucking Savage staff, clearly.
Yeah.
Josh gave it his best shot. He tried. He had a chance, but at Tex Mex Ana is just too much to play against really right now. Her ceiling is sky high right now. And then Diego, has he solidified his shot at a shit bowl appearance?
That's a lock. He's going to be shitball.
Yeah.
Did it to himself. Sorry, Diego, you did it to yourself, though, bro.
I wonder why, though.
This is a
I
good.
wonder
This is a good case study.
cause.
It is. So I think this is a good case study for the league to like look at, and why sometimes it is good to take the more valuable player and divide that player into assets, because with our benches are short, and you're not going to be able to roster a ton of players. So one injury here, one bye week here, and you limit the options you have. Diego had so many weeks where he was out of options, and maybe flipping Swift earlier into a different RB2 and a wide receiver gives him like that depth to mix and match and use his managerial acumen instead of just hoping your exact one combination of like your one good lineup hits. Because if you don't have the ability to mix and match, then what do you're relying on no luck factoring in, no injury luck, no game script luck. You're completely at the mercy of luck. So that might be an interesting case study on that, because I wonder, if he would have been able to flip some of those assets and held on to quarterbacks for so long, held on to multiple tight ends for so long.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 tight ends, he had 2 quarterbacks, 2 defenses. Where was the depth? Especially running backs, wide receivers.
That's where you insert that meme, that Simpsons meme. Stop, he's already dead.
Well, no, but yeah, and Diego knows he's always been competitive. This is a down year for him, so it's obviously it's not Diego. Diego's not a bad fantasy football like mind. I think I personally just think it was the wrong approach to the team this season, and maybe that's we have a problem as a league. If none of us want to trade anyone, and this is an example of what happens when there's teams that just are unwilling to trade. So that all came up to my mind. I was like, all right, let's see.
What? Diego does suck.
No, you know what?
Right.
I haven't shit on somebody in a fat minute, bro.
Where's
Josh at? Where's
No, not yet. He's still not out. All right, so we're gonna start off with another segment. It's gonna be called "Going Deep with Papi." So let's get deep. You gave us some PowerPoint slides.
Happy chill.
Can we get some music? Can we get like da 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 or something, bro? Like
You
put some in here when you do the edit, like some
you want
crazy shit.
da-da-da, and you don't want I was in the Masonic room at the people.
That's what you got. Put on some Drizzy before you put the PaPI in there. But okay,
We don't want
let's
no
go into this.
copyright.
Nah, it's just not going anywhere.
There's copyright doesn't exist when you got the PaPI right.
It's but
True.
can you speak my language?
Or
All
put me
right,
on the next one, Drake.
So okay. So can you see my screen? Am I?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Am I on mute? Okay. So the PaPI. This is good. This is the PaPI fundamentals. Okay.
Are we gonna circle back to that later?
Quick disclaimer. We're gonna circle back. I'm gonna send you a follow-up email with this. The IP belongs to the PaPI, so that's number one.
Damn.
So if you want to use this,
Damn.
like that, Dav has my permission because he's doing some good stuff with it. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want. What does PaPI stand for? All right. So we got the P, which is performance, right? So that's how well a team's like. Stop laughing, bro. This is serious shit. How well a
What
team's
does PaPI
lineups
stand for?
have performed in the past.
Is PaPI individual? Okay. All right, we'll stop. Go ahead.
All right, P. Okay, you know what? Are y'all done?
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn it.
I'll let you finish.
Continue. I'll
Okay.
mute myself.
P stands for performance. You know, A stands for and P stands for probability, which is the team's future performance based on how well the manager has chosen the lineup. So we got some some intricacies in here, and then we got the I, which stands for the index, and this might be overlooked at the beginning, but you got to understand what the PaPI is a function of. The PaPI is a function of your points in favor. That's the number one baseline thing of what everything is built, okay? So you got to have points if you want to be in the PaPI, at the top of the PaPI. You can't just be willy-nilly, oh, I want to have 1,000 PaPI and just not perform, bro, because you're not gonna. There's not gonna be any PaPI for you, all right? So here's what's next, okay? So now we got to take a look into what each individual component of the PaPI has in it. Okay, so you got the points in favor. Okay, that's like every week you work in to get your team lineup in order. You wanna have the best performance. That's your points in favor. You got the points against, which is, it don't matter if you're that good. If you're playing against Tex-Mex Ana, you're gonna get shit on, right? And then there's and then you got your max points in favor, right? How well you actually manage your team. And this is actually a pretty important part of the PaPI, and you'll see why. Then there's a league average PF, which is how well you did compared to the rest of the league in that week. And there's a league average PA, which is that's just the average for PAs for the week. Oh, for the season. Then there's last score, which is the last score of your last week, and there's a win-loss streak. So there's 7 different factors that are taken into account, and then there's a formula to this. And so this is actually the formula. And like now I'm going to get a little serious because it's very dense. All right. So here we go. So the PaPI formula is B squared plus A squared equals C squared times. I'm just kidding. So it's basically a adjustment for your PF plus a recent performance bonus, how well you did last week, minus any efficiency penalties that you have, and that's the only number that's subtracted from the total score, which is how well did you or did you not manage your team throughout this whole period. Then there's the streak. Actually, no, there's not the only negative number. There's a streak, which could be negative or positive, times 20 points. And this is probably the biggest part of it. And we might need to calibrate this in the future. And then there's a tough luck adjustment, right? How tough were your opponents, and how much above the average was your PA compared to the rest of the league. So that's what it is, right? If you take into account, like, let's look at some examples, right? So this is actually week 9 PaPI. this person had a PaPi of 1245. Their PF average adjustment was 33 points, meaning they scored 66. Oh yeah. So overall in their entire season, they have scored 66 or 100. Sorry, what is it? 30? 140 points higher than the average in the entire league, right? And so that times 0.25 will give you 33. And so that's what that number is. And there's a performance bonus, how well you did or didn't do in the past week. And here you'll see like it varies based on team, how many points in favor they had last week, and how many points in favor the whole or was the average. And then there's a multiplier by that, right? So that multiplier is 0.5. So half of the points that you had over the average or under the average. And then streak, which is a 20-point adjustment. Basically, if you're hot right now, you're gonna get a lot of PaPi points. I don't know if you guys know who this player is right here with 140 streak points.
I have an idea.
Could anyone guess who that is?
It's gonna be Mr. PaPi.
Yes,
Has to be
correct.
PaPi himself.
Correct.
That's right,
and then
Eli. You're number 2 in the class.
And this is my favorite. This is my favorite one. This is the tough luck adjustment. This is 1/3 of the points of the difference between your points against and the average points against. So Diego should have a pretty good PA adjustment. So let's try to see if I can find. I don't even know. I haven't seen this. I'm looking at it right now. Is Diego 28? Let's see. Who's 28? Who's had some bad luck?
No.
Jay Molly's had some bad luck. 59. Oh shit, that's me. I've had some really good luck. So I think like overall, in my opinion, I think this is like a pretty good measuring stick, but I think maybe the constants are a little off, right? Like maybe it's not half of whatever it is your points in favor adjustment. Maybe it's another constant you have to multiply it by. But I think like relatively it should be pretty good. But yeah, that is the deep dive PaPi. The link has been sent, and hopefully you can pin it in the chat. Any questions?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
No, I think
for the PaPi slide 4. Go to slide 4 for me. Yeah, I got a question.
Hold on. Yeah.
When you say last score, does that mean your output in a week, or that's your last score in the PaPi index?
No, that's your last. Like, if you played against me, how many scores did you points did you score?
Okay, so it's
right.
It's a recent performance in the actual league, not in the PaPi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at this, like score is 130, you scored 130 points against me last week.
Okay.
So yeah, I do this shit by hand though. So I don't have a it sucks because the web browser for Sleeper is like it doesn't have the max PF. So if it would have been really easy if I just done like a copy and paste, but I can't do that.
Have you been using their public API?
I looked at it, but I can't find the fucking. I mean, I just looked at the Sleeper like on developer tools, and I looked at the GraphQL responses. So I can't find it anywhere.
I too could not find the GraphQL.
Bro, it's hard, bro. It's hard. I mean, I found some, like I found like league stats and shit like that, but I didn't find the whatever it is.
Yeah, the scores for the max PFI. When I was up in there, I couldn't. I didn't see. Yeah. I wasn't able to isolate. I wasn't able to isolate
in there.
I couldn't isosceles the exact data that I wanted to extrapolate. But
maybe we can get Daft to show us his PP next week though.
Yeah, please.
I've seen the PP once, and it was crazy the first time I saw it.
For real.
Woodsy again.
He showed it in public. That was crazy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but thank you, Mezcal. Really appreciate that. If anyone wants any more info
Yes.
on that, feel free to reach out to him. Or if you all want him back online, send that as a poll or whatever. Like hit us up.
There's a
But
link
we're
to my
gonna continue
OnlyFans
on.
in the description.
The OnlyFans is in the bio and all that. And OnlyFeet, we got OnlyFeet yet? Coming. It's coming.
Mezcal also has only API where he just goes through open source coding and he's like, all right, this is what you want to see. And when you open up a QL, this is exactly what it should look like.
This is exactly what the.
And then break out the list.
All right. Coming back to our show, going into our the regular SSTV power rankings. Honestly, not too much has changed. You have Mezcal at number 1, of
Get the
course.
trophy out.
Who's at number 2? Who's at number 2, Kokamish?
It is I'm still number 2, even after my bipocalypse, baby. That's what happens when you stack a 130 piece on your how. So you've seen Friday, and there's the expression, how do you get fired on your day off? But how do you set a fire on your day off? Because that's what I do.
Okay. And at number 3, it's Tex-Mex. Shit, man. I mean, it was tough not putting her to the 2 or 1, but y'all both have juicy ass matchups, and I feel like y'all 3 could easily just win it. Number 4, who we got?
Sorry, I had in my head when you were saying Anna, in my head I was hearing that's so Anna. So then I couldn't get it out of there. But
Yeah.
that was in my mind, but in my heart is always Lil Chubb, my boy, number 4 in the power ranks. At 4 and 5 right now, with you worry about that Josh Allen elbow, but if the Bills are gonna be all right, then who gives a fuck about those running backs? He's running his 0 RB strat to perfection.
0 RB strat perfection. Hopefully it works out. It was tough putting him at 4, but so far that elbow is good. He's still in playoff contention. He has a good strength of schedule. I think he's still good. He faces obviously after Anna. Yep. He's got Diego. He's got Josh. He's looking at the bottom of the pack right now. And then also he's playing me, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if Chase is ever coming back. So if it doesn't happen, then he's got a good 3 wins locked, if potentially.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where he's at. At number 5, we got Savage Dab himself. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough road for him, but I think he is still in contention for this playoff. It'll be interesting when he faces Coolero, our rising star. But after that, who's he got? He's facing his sister, Anna. That's going to be a tough one. And then after that, he's got who else is that?
He's got Eddie too.
He's got Eddie, who's also his team. Eddie's team is good. He just ended up being unlucky that last matchup against me. And then finally he ends it against Diego. So he's got at least 1 win, which will put him at 6 and 4. And from what we're looking at, like he's got to steal 1 to guarantee it. But if he just gets 6 and 4, I think he's still in it. And at number 6, who we got?
Before we move on, you think a 6-win team is going to make the playoffs?
I do believe a 6-win team is going to the playoffs. Why? In my opinion, it's because I think your team and Mezcal's team are going to be stealing so many wins that it's going to be making the threshold for getting in. Well, how about this? You, Mezcal, and Texasana are going to take so many wins that it's going to make the threshold for getting in, like potentially a 6-win team being in, if not a 5-win team.
Hey man, there's a possibility that there's 5 teams that have 9 wins though. It could happen.
That's not gonna happen.
It could happen.
So it could be Cool Kid, Savage,
Cool, A Rojas and Tex Mexana, and
You.
me. That could be a possibility.
You're saying that independently they all could have 9 wins, or you're saying simultaneously everyone could get 9 wins?
Simultaneously. Because the matchups, I was looking at it today. I don't know if I looked at it wrong, but if that was right, then we could all end up with 9 wins at some point.
I mean, that's assuming, especially on my end, that's assuming I face you, Tony,
Yeah, you have to beat.
and I
You
still
have
have
to beat
Josh
George
and a
for
Steve
that.
on it. So I in
Oh
order
wait,
for the 9 wins,
you
I would
don't
have to
face
be
Tony
one of,
next, right?
yeah.
Oh, you would
face him
have
this
to.
week.
You would have to beat me and you and Tony, and that would be the only loss that Tony takes, right?
Damn. Yeah, there ain't no way. There ain't no fucking way.
Ain't
Ain't no way, boy.
but it is, yeah, okay, damn.
No, like
that could be crazy. Okay.
That would be fucking impressive, but I was doing some calculations, some
Myself,
yeah.
GraphQLs myself.
I was gonna say the
But I mean, so far, I'm seeing it. The way I'm seeing it is that y'all two just take off, and and obviously the bottom teams are going to self cannibalize, really, where you have games where Savage Dab is still playing. I mean, the bottom of the barrel. The Little Chub is still playing bottom of the barrel. Teams like Josh, who still has a way in, Cool Arrow, who still has a way in, and H-Rods that still has a way in. So if they play up to their potential these next couple of weeks, you're facing a scenario where there will be 2, 5, and 8 teams, and it'll come down to whoever has the highest points for. So at least that's the way I was seeing it at some point. Assuming worst case scenarios, right? I'm hoping best case I do make it, of course. Everybody hopes that for their team. I don't really see a path for Diego at this point, but we'll just have to see. And that we're gonna get into, I guess. Who is the number 6 again? Were you able to say it?
So I didn't get to 5. 5 is Savage Dab, who, damn, he needed that win. I know he did too. He did everything right. You put up 120, you can't be mad at him.
Yeah.
Just the wrong matchup for him this week. So now he's got Bipocalypse, he's got Culero. You wonder if he's going to be able to get out of this. But you know, he finishes up the rest of the season against Hana. He's gonna have to really grind it out. I think he's gonna have to make some trades. So we'll see if he's
gonna be a slugfest for sure.
Yeah, and then
all right,
number 6.
Number 6, Cool Kid, myself. I slayed somewhat of that Derrick Henry beef. Yeah. Thank you, Mixon. God, trust me, I will be sucking his dick if I ever see him in the crowd. What? This is a different segment.
The Mixon PP.
The Mixon PP is coming up next. Bro, you can't argue with fucking 55 points. God damn.
I don't even know.
Is that a league record?
It was, I think, oh gosh, I heard a stat. I think it was like, I want to say it was within 2 points of the most points ever scored in a fantasy, by one fantasy individual and half PPR scoring. It even dwarfed, if you guys remember the famous Alvin Kamara Christmas game.
Alvin Kamara, yeah.
Where he
6
went
touchdowns, right?
6 touchdowns. Mixon still outscored that Kamara game.
Wait,
that is the type.
Why didn't this update though? Because I'm looking at the league history, all-time player high scores. Still see Jonathan Taylor from 2021 in there. I don't even see Mixon. But I think
this week's not over.
Oh, okay. Wait, what?
Wait a minute. Maybe they refreshed the numbers midnight tonight. You're right. They should have been in there. Bro, Sleep will be tripping sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell Sleep.
Now going into
release the high scores, cowards.
Cowards. Going into matchups and pick you got Cool Arrow Cool Kid against A Rojas, Kamish, Co-Kamish, Bull. One of us limping in there, one of us walking on a red carpet. I'll let y'all figure that one out. Who's who? Like, just die.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna give you much analysis here, really. I honestly, in my opinion, A Rojas, you just win it. Unless you think something else needs to be done, but really, like,
Nah, I don't have a nice way to say it. I think I'm about to walk you like a dog, bro. Like
it's
Jalen,
gonna be tough.
Jalen Hurts Hopkins could erupt. I know because I just literally benefited from 2 singular scoring positions getting me a win.
Yeah.
So yes, it could happen. When in the business of making predictions, we don't pick based on the 1 in a million option. So I pick me. I think my your bye weeks are hurting you. You got a couple tough matchups, and I think mine look good this week. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you have like, I think I was looking at a tweet where it was like the top 10 running backs of week 10. It was, you had 1, 2 was CMC Saquon, and then number 9 was Damian Pierce. I was like, God damn.
yeah,
That in itself, like, should guarantee you the win. And then you still got Fields who's fucking
Fields
on
gets
fire.
the Detroit Lions, one of the worst defenses in the league. Saquon gets the Texans, the worst running defense in the league. CMC gets the Chargers, top 3 worst run defenses in the league, if I recall.
Yeah.
So just those 3 alone, the matchups are insane. Minnesota's one of the worst pass defenses. Gabe Davis has a matchup. I get the double dip scores with Mooney.
Yeah.
We ain't got to get into it. We ain't got to get into it.
Well, yeah, exactly. So who you got? Who you got, Mr.
So Tony's projected to win over 20 points. I'm not a big believer in the projections because they're not DAV approved. But
that's what
he's like, and that's with no defense. So, and yeah, man, you're really lucky that Jamar Chase is hurt, Tony, because otherwise.
Oh yeah, Chase would scare me. Yeah. Well, no. Actually, I'm not lucky because he's at a bye week. Him and Mixon would both be on the same bye week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Brees Hall. Do you have Brees Hall in this league?
I had.
Out. Next matchup. That would hurt me too.
All right, so we got the potential punishment bowl matchup. Jay Molly against Diego. Someone's got to get a win.
We call this the Waffle House Bowl.
Yeah.
The Waffle House Bowl. Hey, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be interesting to see if Diego pulls this out. If Diego wins this, he brings down Jay Molly with him.
Yes.
Like, think about it, basically.
That is true. Hidden,
and that opens the door even more for H-Rods too.
And Culero.
Yeah.
And Culero.
Yep.
So I talked about I was waiting for my chance to shit on Josh. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not doing it. I'm picking Josh. I'm picking Josh on this one. I heard a rumor on Reddit. Josh Jacobs assaulted a waiter. Potential suspension coming. Story will break by TMZ. That's what this person in Reddit said.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first on SSTV.
Recorded on Tuesday, but the news already broke Friday. The SSTV came out Saturday, so it's like this is late.
The fuck?
Or by then it's like, man on Reddit banned because he said a lie, and I'm be like, well, but I don't know, bro. I'm scared. What if that shit's real? I'm a believer.
Dude, that would fucking be wild if that is true.
That would be crazy.
And fucking Josh himself, the moment that news happens, he's gonna fucking go and get whoever the backup is. He's gonna be the first time. That shit's happening too.
Yep. Josh gonna be like, what the fuck? I got this foreman for Zamir White.
Yeah.
So shit. Because Diego's gonna be without another running back, I picked Josh.
All right. I mean, I guess that's a good reason. I got Diego. I don't I don't trust a random Reddit guy, but I mean, sometimes that's where most people get their news anyways.
You don't
But
believe
I
everything you
think-
read on the internet?
Shit, that's a good point. But I'm gonna go with Diego finally winning one after a long time. Diego's just honestly trying to upset people at this point, and Josh is looking mighty fine for that upset. I don't think Devontae Adams goes off again against the Indianapolis Colts. I think their defense is that much better. Dalvin Cook has a tough run against the Bills. I think Diego's team right now looks like a playoff team. It could be a playoff team. And that's what I'm going with, right? You got Olave wide receiver 1, Jacobs run RB1, and DK Metcalf split wide receiver 1. And Brandon Ayuk, the new guy he brought up. He's looking like he's ready to bring Josh down with him to fucking hell.
I miss you right
It's gonna be. He's like, we're both. If it's gonna be one of us going to Waffle House, he'd rather it be Josh. So he wants Josh in there in the fucking punishment in that bracket for sure.
Diego has 3, I guess you could even say 4, but 3 matchups where he could be the one who ruins their playoffs. So it's something to look forward to, right? Because you're mentioning Josh this week. Next week, Diego beats Chubb. Chubb goes down, another loss. Might be it for him. He goes
Might be out.
week 13. He's got Savage Dav, who we already talked about how hard his schedule is. If he loses to Diego too, maybe he's out too. So Diego, maybe Fantasy Reaper. I don't know.
That'll be an interesting watch out for. Heard it here first. So who you got, Miss God? Diego, Josh. I know we kind of overplayed this one, but
I think this is the most consequential matchup of this week.
Oh,
Yeah, it is. Because what's at play this week? Me and Eddie. Okay, yeah, Eddie could solidify his like 5th or 6th place if he wins, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I mean, sorry, that's coming up. But so I think maybe Diego's gonna take it. I see him out there hustling, man. He's stubborn, but he's standing firm to what he believes in. I think mostly.
that's good, but he don't want to trade me.
and hopefully,
Exactly.
hopefully he gets some good luck. I think both J Molly and Diego. I think J Molly's had the worst luck by the PaPI stats. So I don't know. I think it's pretty even. Diego might win though.
All right, heard it here first by the PaPI. Next matchup is actually the PaPI himself versus H-Rods. He gave you all a little preview on that. That's a good one, man. Derrick Henry versus that stacked Goliath of a team this guy's got right now. It's going to be an interesting one. I actually am rooting for the underdog on this one. And I think H-Rods, he's had a streak of bad luck. Right now, projections have it at Mezcal getting 130. H-Rod's going at 118. I also believe in these projections, right? I think they give you a good estimate, but I think H-Rods has a higher ceiling than what is projected. And I gotta go with him. I honestly foresee him pulling one out of his ass and keeping his playoff hopes alive, really. What you got? What looking at me weirdly, Tony. What are you thinking? What's going on that
It's
I'll
tough.
look at the projections again. I just updated my lineup.
It's tough, bro, because yes, the Yeti could go off. The Cardinals, and he's really deep into the Cardinals, go against the Rams. And Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, the pressure they're going to put on Kyler Murray to get the ball out quick and often, you wonder, is Rondale Moore going to be the benefactor because of Ramsey on Hopkins, or do you think like Murray's just going to run? And then he gets a 0 out of the Rondale slot. So I'm worried there. I'm worried about Mostert against Cleveland just because the game script, I don't I don't see one. Jeff Wilson came in and took the majority of the
Took most of the
carries.
snaps, yeah.
So one, you got Mostert. Is he actually even the starter anymore? Two, is that game script going to be where Cleveland is leading Miami and therefore, I'm sorry, Miami is leading Cleveland for most of the game so that Mostert can be out there getting garbage time? Like I don't know where I have two holes in his lineup that I question. And PaPI's whole lineup is solid. What are you gonna, you can't miss.
Yeah.
I've said this before. You cannot miss a single slot in your lineup when you play PaPI because he's not. So if you don't have your whole starting lineup ready to go, you're out. It's that simple. And that's why if I have any question marks, you lose.
True. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I have to face that at some point this season, and it's scary. And who you got, Mezcal? What are we looking at? Show the trophy.
No. I feel like if somebody's gonna beat me, it's gonna happen in these next 3-4 weeks, right? I got A-Trust, I got Coolero on a bye, I got Cool Kid who's coming up, and I got Tex McSana, right? They're all pretty strong players. I think maybe this could be the start of something bad for me. I don't know. I feel like I've had too good of a luck, but to be honest, like right now I'm looking at my lineup and I don't see any, maybe one weak spot, right, with Pitts, because he's been doing, I don't know what the fuck he's been doing. But everyone else has been like pretty consistent. I'm getting like 130, 120 points every week at least. So I don't know if that's going to stop soon. Hopefully not. So I got me.
Okay. Heard it here first. PaPI pick the PaPI's. Next matchup with another playoff boomer bust. You got Coolero and Savage Dab. That's a good one. That's our number 4 in our lineup that we're announcing, because Coolero, like y'all are calling, he can be a playoff contender, and he's only just started. He has back-to-back wins, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah,
I think he's
back-to-back.
got back-to-back wins,
Yeah,
right?
2 win streak,
So
yeah.
he's got a little 2-win streak. Those Dolphins, man, they're good, and Tyreek Hill is fucking good. Yeah, he's so good. I wish I had him. But Tyreek Hill is really good. it ain't happening. And I mean, shit, he's got Savage Dab on his bye. It's looking like the reverse of his last matchup. He was looking really strong last week, and now it's not looking too good. And I mean, like you said, with the in terms of the matchups, right? You got Najee against the Saints. You got James Conner against the Rams, against Aaron Donald. He's got great wide receivers, but those matchups still don't look as good either. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be a tough one for Savage to win out. It is interesting because I don't really believe in Coolero's Jonathan Taylor coming back or Keenan Allen coming back this week. So he's going to have to do something because Michael Carter's on bye, and he's got to find a running back that's not Algier, right? He was really relying on those points, and I don't really see him doing much, especially with Cordell Patterson coming back. But I'm rolling with a hot hand, and it's Coolero. I think that streak is going to carry him. You can't deny it. Savage's dad has had a bad streak of luck, and it's only going to continue against Coolero.
I'm on the same page. And I was factoring in the Taylor Wood play, and I figure James Conner against the Rams is about as helpful as an injured Jonathan Taylor against the Raiders. So I was considering that a push, and I was considering basically like Najee. Yeah, you've got the over there, but you're going to lose the receiver matchups because the Bills don't give up deep passes. So that kind of neutralizes Jefferson. Hill against Cleveland. Cleveland's been getting torched all year. They're, I think, bottom 3 in DVOA against the run, but then also like middle of the league at passing. So there you could hit him both ways. They're not excellent in either element of defense. So like I'm projecting him to explode at receiver. Goddard, the way they use Goddard in Philly is honestly unreal. There's so much like play design for Dallas Goddard. They do really everything they do in Philly on the front line between the linemen in the motions they do with like Kelsey, and then Goddard with like the fake block pass like slip outs. Like they're fucking dope to watch. So I just think he's got his like upside cases higher, and you know I want to rock with that. I want to say that I'm gonna shoot for the upside team, and that's what it looks like to me. You're right. He's gonna need to fill a hole between his kicker and without Lamar, but they're streamable quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right about that.
Who you got, Mezcal? Are you gonna roll with your contender, or you think Savage brings it?
Culero has 2 opportunities in the next 4 games. It's either he has to win at least 2, right? He has to win 3, but I mean at least 2. And it's me on a bye or Savage on a bye. He has to win one of those games. And the easiest one is this one for him. So if he doesn't do it, he can take it, or if he doesn't have the luck this week to have that win, I don't know when it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with Culero for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, just because it's like he's got 2. I don't know. It's really risky. I think on both sides. Like, I think honestly, man, Savage has JJ. This man, so he's hot. I don't know. I just want Culero to win.
It's gonna be a close one, and it'll be an interesting one. It'll definitely be interesting. I am cheering for Culero. Obviously, the cool thing going on, but I am cheering for him. I do want Savage to go down, but at the same time, I do want Culero to lose because I think that'll help me in playoff run. So we'll see what happens. Final matchup. I think this is the juiciest one right now. You got Tex-Mexana versus a rising Tex-Mexana. Her team's only getting more healthy.
Just getting richer and richer.
Dude, what the fuck? Like where are these running backs coming from? You had ETN, James Robinson out. You had Cordero Patterson on IR. He's like, all right, you know what? I think I'm good today. Ends up fucking dominating. And that's without
he didn't dominate. He averaged like 3 yards a carry, but he got 2 touchdowns. So that's like it's like
yo.
I don't know.
Hey, it's better than what she had. Who was she gonna play? Madison, Hillard?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's got good matchups coming up. Carolina and Chicago. You would think he's gonna if you compare the top of the schedule where he was averaging, I want to say like 6 yards a carry, to the last game where he just averaged 3 yards a carry. Carolina and Chicago are indicative of what we're going to see from the rest of the season for him, because he should get back to like 4 or 5 yards a touch. So if he's still got it, we're going to find out. That's for sure.
Yeah. And between the two, sorry, I guess I didn't talk about Lil Chubb, right? Again, same thing over and over again. I keep preaching. That's Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen stack. Lil Chubb has a good team, but I think these next couple of matchups are going to be tough. Stephon, it all comes down on Josh Allen's arm, really. Like, is he healthy? Is he going to be able to make it the rest of the season? I think he will, but this week, Tex-Mex is just that tough to beat. And I mean, she could also potentially even go for another highest score this week. So as Lil Chubb has little room for error, but Tex-Mex, I think, takes it this week. She doesn't have almost anyone on bye this week, and I think she's good to win it. What about you? Who you got?
I agree. I think it's Texana, and I think she wins convincingly. That Jacksonville matchup for her Kansas City Chiefs is really good. Cooper Cup's a tough matchup because actually this season, the Arizona defense has been good against the wide receiver one. They get shredded everywhere else in the pass game, but they've been good against the wide receiver one. So I don't think that all of the matchups, I mean, if she keeps Cousins, Buffalo Bills against Cousins is another bad matchup. I don't think all her matchups are good, but I think her upside on the lineup is just higher than his is. I mean, when you have to play Nyheim Hines and Terry McLaurin against, so Philly has two shutdown corners. So McLaurin's going to get one of them. He's going to get locked up. So I'm not seeing it, man. I don't see the range of outcomes where he outscores her. So I'm going on that as well.
I mean, maybe if he puts in Palmer and maybe if he puts in Jefferson, maybe that's something. But yeah, it's tough. It's a tough matchup for him. Anna's team is just rising with Juju doing hot. Judy's back. I mean, those three wide receivers, I mean, they can all go off. So it'll be interesting. And Mezcal, who you got? Actually, based on your little prediction.
It's Tex-Mexana versus the Buffalo Bills.
Basically.
I think
Basically, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna.
Yeah, because even Kirk's against the
like, there's no way. It's just like
it's possible, right? With fantasy,
it's very
possible.
Yeah, I think if Anna plays like a decently matched up quarterback, I mean, it's in the bag for her. Like that's the only note, really.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I will say it is possible. So against the pass, Minnesota is again like right around middle of the league. So they can be had against with the Bills, who are one of the top passing offenses in the league. It's possible. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, well, hope y'all had hope y'all had a good time watching this show. We definitely had a fun time analyzing and all that stuff. And yeah, I guess it's a wrap, boys. Any last words before we log off today?
Just everybody, make sure you give some shout outs to our guest PaPI in the house, and
I guess the PaPI himself.
Make sure to engage with the PaPI. Make sure you engage with Dav's PP, and like subscribe. That's it.
I think we need to have the Dav confession soon too.
You want another Dear Diary?
I mean,
I've heard
another Dear Diary.
I have heard multiple people say they want another Dear Diary. Oh
yeah. Heard it here first. We need more Dear Diary. We'll reach out. We'll have our people contact his people, and we'll see what goes on. See, all right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Whoa.